Do you ever get stuck in a slump after a big loss and you start spiraling and feel like you're the worst person ever and you're never going to be successful and you're never going to achieve what you want? Yeah, me neither. That never happens to me. Okay, totally kidding. It absolutely happens to me. And today I want to teach you the one powerful trick that I use to get out of that spiral. It works every single time. And inevitably, every single time I forget to use it. And then when I use it, I'm out and I'm set and I'm unstuck. And I want to give it to you because it's incredibly useful and it's probably the best trick that I give to all of my clients. Before I begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Amber. I'm a performance coach. I help high achievers get out of their own way, get unstuck, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. So many of us experience these losses. We feel so stuck. We feel so uncertain. I'm realizing lately that I'm fine with discomfort, but the feeling of uncertainty is the most uncomfortable, horrible, awful feeling I could ever experience. And so I'm trying to get more familiar with uncertainty and be fine with it. But man, it feels awful. I just want to know. I want to know. I want to fix it. I want to know. I want to know what we're going to do about it. I want to know how we're going to plan this out. What's going to change? And I get stuck in that cycle. And then I start spiraling and then it gets worse. And then I'm like, am I ever going to be healed? Am I ever going to be okay? Are things ever going to work out? And it gets worse and worse and worse until I remind myself this one thing. But before I get into that thing, let me explain to you why we do this. When we were cavemen and cave women, if there was a beautiful tree on this side that had fruit and exactly what we needed to survive, and on this side there was a tree that was on fire, our ancestors paid attention to the tree that was on fire, the tree that could kill us, the tree that could threaten our existence. And that's why we have a negativity bias. We're always going to focus on the things that might kill us. We're always going to focus on the things that could threaten our existence. We have a negativity bias, and our brain is constantly scanning for risk because that's what's kept us alive. The difference is we're not on the savanna anymore. There's not burning trees that could potentially, I mean, there are burning trees, but we have homes and fire hydrants and firefighters and things that can protect us from those things. But our brain doesn't know that. Society has advanced so quickly, our brain doesn't realize that we are going to get our next meal. And actually, we can just DoorDash it to our house and it's super easy. So the negativity bias that we have is normal and it's completely expected. It's what's kept you alive. It's what kept your ancestors alive. This is a feature, not a bug. So first of all, I just want you to normalize that. I want you to recognize I'm someone who's always looking at what could go wrong, and that's normal and that's okay. Hopefully, as you tell yourself that it's normal and every single human does that unless their brain is actually broken, hopefully that helps give you some relief. It's okay. There's not something about me that needs to be fixed because I have this negativity bias. It's built in. The ancestors of mine who didn't have a negativity bias aren't here. They died. And so evolution moved them out. So next I want to tell you what to do about this. Here's the phrase that I use with every single one of my clients, and it's wildly helpful. I use it for myself as well. Here's the phrase I want you to tell yourself. I have a 100% track record of always figuring it out. You have, say this in your head to yourself, right? I have a 100% track record of always figuring it out. Period. Every single time something went wrong, you figured it out. Every single time. And what's so fascinating about all of this is that your brain discounts all the times that it worked. I do this all the time. I'll be talking to a friend and I'll be like, oh my gosh, nothing is working. I tried this thing and I didn't get any results at all. And I'll be like, okay, what are the actual numbers? And then I go back and I look at its data and I'm like, oh, actually, I got lots of results. It went way better than I thought it was going to go. And actually, it's not as bad as I think it is. I'll be like, that year was such a better year than this year. And then I go back and look at the actual numbers and compare that year to this year. And I'm like, whoa, I'm way ahead of schedule this year. My feelings of how things are going are not a realistic example of what reality is. And this is what our brains do. Our brains are going to minimize the things that are working. So the next time you find yourself in this spiral, I want you to look at the actual data. What are the actual numbers? Because your brain will lie to you. It's going to be, hey, by the way, the numbers are horrible. And if you go look at those numbers, I'm going to bet that they're actually a lot better than what you think they are. Don't always trust your feelings. Your feelings are worthwhile. They're valuable information. They're not always true. They're not always based in reality. They might be based on something that you're afraid of. So first and foremost, your brain will lie to you. It will tell you the wrong information. You might be completely off. Second of all, remind yourself you have a 100% track record of figuring it out. And then I want you to combine those two things together. I want you to remember your track record. Imagine that you're on a team, right? You're on an athletic team, whatever kind of team you care about. And your team has been winning. And then you get to the championship and you lose. And it feels like you lost the entire season. It feels like everything is a wash because you missed out on the final championship, whatever. Is that true? If you look at your win-loss record, you actually have a lot more wins than losses. It's true. Maybe you lost that last game, but I want you to see that you have such a track record of winning. You always figure it out. You do. You always figure it out. And so when you are at this point where you're spiraling out, you're not sure how this is going to pan out, it feels very uncertain, which to me, the worst emotion that there is, and you don't know how it's going to work out, remind yourself. I always talk to myself by putting one hand on my belly and one hand on my chest. Remind yourself, you always figure it out. Remind yourself of your track record. Remind yourself of all the times when you felt this exact same way, when you were spiraling in anxiety, exactly like you are right now, and how you figured it out and got yourself into a better position. This is what I'm constantly reminding myself of, and this is the tool that I use on myself all the time. I'll be spiraling out. My emotions feel like they're out of control. It's a feature of ADHD. We just get higher intensity emotions than everybody else, and they ramp up super quickly. And so I'm off on a ledge. I don't know where I am. Everything's a disaster. And I just have to sit and talk to myself and be like, Amber, you always figure it out. Remember all the times that you figured it out. Your brain is going to want to erase all of those memories. And that's just not the case. Remember all the times that you figured it out. Think about those times specifically. When you felt like you were in this exact same position, you were spiraling, you were stuck, you felt like you were never going to make it out of it, and you made it out. You always find a way out. So I can sit in this uncertainty. I can feel like everything's a disaster and I have no idea how it's going to pan out. And I can just remind myself that I always figure it out. Okay, I hope this was helpful for you. I'm going to have a full breakdown in my newsletter giving you step-by-step instructions, a little cheat sheet that you can use anytime you need this. So if you want that, go sign up for my newsletter. You can go to mentalmastery.com/newsletter. And come say hello on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you and see what you like about this podcast, what's resonating with you. Give me any questions of things you want me to talk about in future episodes. And I'll see you next week.